If you're watching this video, you probably already know that 2025 is going to be the most important year of your life. You're either walking out of the crypto casino rich, or you're spending the next 3 years regretting missed opportunities. There's no middle ground. But if you watch, understand, and follow the points in this video, you'll be on the path to locking in gains and hitting your financial goals. Today I'm breaking down how to spot the market cycle top for Bitcoin. I'll also share my profit-taking strategy to sell your altcoins near their peaks. I put a lot of effort into these videos, so show some love and hit that like button. It helps the channel grow. And shout out to everyone who voted for this topic on YouTube and Twitter. If you haven't already, give me a follow there too. Alright, let's jump straight in. First, we'll discuss the current stage of the market cycle and explore how high altcoins could potentially go. Next, I'll show you how to identify when Bitcoin and altcoins might be approaching their peaks. Finally, I'll guide you through the process of scaling out of your positions effectively. If you've been following my channel, you know I believe Bitcoin cycles are driven by macro-level liquidity injections. Historically, when there's quantitative tightening, Bitcoin struggles as liquidity is removed from the system. These periods have coincided with bear markets. On the other hand, quantitative easing has been a tailwind for Bitcoin and altcoins, as liquidity is injected into the economy. QE often fuels inflation fears, which push investors toward assets like Bitcoin, seen as a store of value or inflation hedge. More money in the system also drives investments into riskier assets like crypto. So, where are we in the liquidity cycle? Recent discussions suggest the Fed might slow and eventually stop the decline in its balance sheet when reserves are slightly above what they called ample reserves. This could happen in early 2025, aligning perfectly with my thesis of Q4 2025 blow-off top. Right now, we're in the early stages of the bull run. But here's the thing. 80% of the gains typically come in the last 20% of the run. That's why timing your exit is so critical if you want to maximize profits. As we head into the most intense phase of the bull market, it's important to stay clear-headed. Trim any underperforming positions and focus your core capital on the narratives that have proven themselves this cycle. Narratives like meme coins, AI, and RWA. I wouldn't fade gaming either, especially with Off the Grid releasing soon. While many coins will pump during a bull market, the biggest gains will come from the winners. Over-diversifying into 50-plus coins might seem safe, but it often spreads your capital too thin. Instead, double down on the projects that are leading their narratives. That's how you maximize gains. Okay, let's analyze how high altcoins can go this cycle. Bitwise recently released a report with 20 crypto predictions. Some are overly optimistic, but let's focus on the top 2. ETF inflows doubling in 2025 and Bitcoin breaking $200,000. I think both are realistic. Institutional ETF accumulation takes time. They have to go through a long approval process. If you combine that with other bullish factors like a pro-crypto administration, favorable policies, and institutional adoption, $200,000 Bitcoin doesn't feel far-fetched. At $200,000, Bitcoin's market cap would be around $4 trillion. Altcoins excluding stablecoins currently have a market cap of $1.36 trillion. If Bitcoin dominance drops to 40%, with a total market cap of $4 trillion, our altcoins bags will go to Valhalla. We will win big.
We're gonna win so much, you may even get tired of winning, and you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore.
So when should you cash out? If I told you I'd nail the exact top this cycle, I'd be lying. It's impossible, and honestly, it doesn't matter. You can scale out near the top and still make life-changing money. Here's the strategy I've put together. It combines technical analysis, market sentiment, and macroeconomic factors. There's a very low probability that you'll mess this up if you follow this strategy. One tool I've talked about before is the Altcoin Season Index. When used correctly, it's a great indicator. The index tells us if we're in an alt season, when altcoins outperform Bitcoin. If 75% of the top 50 coins have outperformed Bitcoin over the last 90 days, it's considered alt season. Right now, the Altcoin Season Index is sitting at 67. Recently, it hit 88, the highest since 2022, before pulling back. So, what does this have to do with the cycle top? When the index breaks above 75 and stays there for a few months, it's a signal to be on high alert. Last cycle it broke 75 in March 2021 and stayed there for 3 months. That's when the biggest gains were made and many altcoins hit their cycle tops. But the Altcoin Season Index isn't enough on its own. You need to cross-check it with Bitcoin dominance. Last week, when the index hit 88, Bitcoin dominance was still at 55%. This means altcoins still had room to run. During peak alt season, Bitcoin dominance typically drops to around 40%. I call this the dominance reversal zone. Historically, when dominance hits this zone, it marks a bottom for Bitcoin dominance, and the top for many altcoins. When Bitcoin dominance drops to around 45% and the altcoin season index stays above 90 for a while, that's your signal to book profits aggressively. Another important aspect to consider is that not all sectors peak at the same time in a bull market. For example, Layer 1 blockchains may top earlier as funds rotate into higher risk plays, while gaming tokens could rally towards the very end of the cycle. This staggered behavior makes it essential to monitor sector-specific strength and adjust your positions accordingly. Understanding this rotation can help you identify when a particular narrative or sector might be overheating, allowing you to take profits before the market turns. Also, individual coins can have catalyst-driven runs that peak earlier than others. Here's an example. In the last bull run, Bitcoin hit its all-time high of $69,000 on November 10, 2021. But Cardano had already peaked at $3.10 on September 2nd, more than 2 months earlier. Meanwhile, Avalanche hit its peak towards the end of November. The takeaway? Know your sell levels and don't try to time the market perfectly. Now let's talk about marking your sell levels. Here's an example using Near Protocol. I've set exit levels based on factors like technical analysis, previous cycle peaks for similar projects, and psychological price levels. You can do the same for your altcoins. Where you mark your levels is less important than staying disciplined and sticking to them. Why is this important? Because when everything's pumping, greed takes over. You start shifting your targets, hoping for just one more 2x. But this table acts as your North Star, helping you stay disciplined when emotions run high. As we discussed earlier, altcoins don't all pump at the same time. If one of your coins takes off early, it's tempting to believe it will keep pumping and hold on for even more gains. However, early movers often peak ahead of the rest, leaving you stuck holding bags. Setting clear exit levels can help you avoid this trap and stick to your profit-taking plan. If all of these sounds too overwhelming to grasp, there's another easier way to know when the cycle top flashes. You can simply subscribe this channel and follow me on Twitter, as my goal is to lead my community to financial freedom this cycle. I hope this video helps you lock in profits this cycle. If you want more insights, check out my other bull run strategy videos. I'll see you in the next one.